Right, now it's time for the seasonings to go on. I have washed and patted dry the chicken drumsticks. You can use thighs, leg pieces. You can even cut up a whole chicken yourself, which I tend to do because it makes the chicken stretch further and it's cheaper. So the first thing I'm going to put in, you can do it in any order, do some everyday seasoning. I pretty much know how much to put in, but you can put, I've got maybe about 12 chicken legs in there, so it'll be about 3 tablespoons of everyday or all-purpose seasoning. Hayley, honey. Then my garlic salt, because I'm being lazy, I could crush 1 or 2 garlics. That will be the equivalent. Again, it's quite late at night, I just want to get this out of the way. For tomorrow, I'm going to put in some dried... Happy birthday to you. This is dried thyme. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Curry powder. I'm going to put a little bit of that in just for spice. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Right, that was the equivalent to about 2 teaspoons. Happy birthday. A little bit of herbs, okay? You can always adjust the seasoning. It's best to go less first and then build. I put a little bit of Lee Perry's Worcester sauce or whatever you want to call it. You can also use soy sauce if you want or something like that. It's not the same flavour, but it's just adds a little je ne sais quoi. I actually really like fresh thyme. I've got a little bit of fresh thyme here. I keep it in foil to keep it fresh. And just put a stick in there because this is going to be marinating overnight. If you don't have overnight to marinate it, then just put a few slashes in your chicken and at least leave it for 20 minutes. And also, if you're not going to wait, this is going to be baked chicken. Even if you're not going to wait, you can also add a bit of the oil at this time as well, so the oil really gets into the chicken and it helps the seasoning to stick. Now, at this point, you want to get your hands in. Like I said, I've got a bit of a sore finger, so I'm using gloves because I don't want to agitate it or sting. You just massage in. Massage the love into the chicken. Think about the person you're making it for, or the people. And the fact that you want it to taste good. You want it to be wholesome and nourishing. And you give it a good mix. With chicken, if you're seasoning it the night before, you don't have to put as much seasoning in it, okay? At this point as well, you can put onions in there, so the flavour of the onions really get in there, chopped onions, and whatever else you want to put in. But that's the initial, just put that to one side, that's the initial spice mix, okay? So it's about 3 tablespoons of this, maybe 1 tablespoon of that, maybe 2 teaspoons, 2 teaspoons, 1 teaspoon, a generous splish splash. So it is the next day and I have taken the chicken out of the fridge and I've left it to get to room temperature, so for about 30 minutes or 1 hour. The next things you need is a diced, chopped up onion and some chopped tomatoes or plum tomatoes, a stock cube. I use like these sachets of stock thingy-majiggies as well. Okay, so I've also lined a tin with foil that's big enough to take the 12 pieces of chicken so that they're not overcrowded. So I have put the chicken, all of it, not overcrowded it. I'm using a little bit of olive oil and just lightly drizzling it on top. Lightly. You want to see that? And I have put the onions in the bowl that I had the chicken in so it can take up all the seasoning that's in there, okay? And this is going to go into the oven. I preheated the oven at 200 degrees centigrade, which is probably about a gas mark 5 or 6. Actually, do it gas mark 6 if you have gas mark 6. I've got a fan assisted oven, so I'm doing it at 200, and it's going to go in for initially 30 minutes. Okay, keep an eye on it. If it's browning too much, turn them over. It's going in for 30 minutes at either 200 degrees if you've got a fan assisted, 220 if you don't, and gas mark 6. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes, and as you can see, the chicken's browned nicely, and it's got lots of, I don't know, let me see if you can come closer, lots of kind of juice oily juice really, but a lot of the juice come out of the chicken. The thing with this is temperature, high temperatures. And in the background, say hello, that's Ianda, my nephew. He's washing out his plate from eating, and over there's Bailey, you can see her. She's just sitting down eating her lunch, late lunch. So at this point, I did cut up another onion. We're going to put the onions into the meat. Again, like I said before, it's just a one pot pan, or whatever you want to call it, oven dish. Madam wants me. And we are going to turn the oven up high. Just spread this over, make sure that the onions get into the sauce, or into the, you turn the oven temperature right up to 220 or 230, just a hot oven, because you kind of want to replicate frying the onions, okay? So we're going to do that for about 10-15 minutes, keep an eye on it. Until the onions go brown. You don't want to burn them. The onions have browned a bit, and I'm going to put the tomatoes in it now. The onions could possibly brown a bit more, but in this occasion, again, you just got to go with the flow. I didn't put a lot of oil in it, so there wasn't as much of a frying sensation as there possibly could have been. So I'm put the, and also you want the temperature up really high. If you ever see what Bailey was doing now. Right, and then I'm going to crumble a stock cube and put the packet of stock cube in it as well, okay? I crumble it just to add a bit more seasoning, because I didn't over season the chicken, if you remember. It's quite a light seasoning. And I'm going to put this in, and again, you put the temperature up really high and it's going to produce its own gravy. A bit of a stock cube. This is equivalent to just 2 stock cubes. You're going to put the temperature up high, back in the oven. I'll show you what it looks like now, and then I'll do a before and after. It kind of looks a bit not so great at the moment, but it will transform. Right, let's see, can you see that? Put this in the oven now. And until the tomatoes reduce. So that is going to be in the oven for another 15 minutes. So I have taken it out of the oven. As you can see, it's starting to brown and char a bit. And I'm walking over to get a spoon, sorry. And you just mix it in. You can see the tomatoes have reduced a little bit. Right, so pour a little bit, waste not what lot, in the tin where the chopped tomatoes were. That's about 2 heaped.
Mixed with some pesto.
Mixed with some pesto, excellent. And some hot water. The kettle just boil.
And then we can make the gravy.
And we make the gravy, thank you. Right, so just fill it up to the top and pour it all over. So I'm going to cover it with foil so that it doesn't get any more brown and burn. And it's going to go in the oven now on a low heat for just 10 more minutes, and that is it. It's out of the oven, steaming hot, and it is tasty chicken. Yeah, you've got an exhausted cook. But the good thing about this dish is you don't actually have to be there for most of the cooking. It's just instant. You can serve this with rice, yam, pasta, salad, anything. I hope you enjoy. You don't have to be stuck over the pot to do it.